Hello, this is Eric from Lieber Honey. We thought we'd put together this little video to kind of demonstrate what we do with our swarm traps once we get them back to the bee yard. To transport the swarm traps, we use this hive cover. Basically, it's a netting. We put it over the swarm trap so that the bees don't get out when we're bringing it down the road to the bee yard. And usually the hives will sit here for, I'd let them sit here for a day or so before moving them into a box. And so we're kind of going to show the process that we go through to move them into a box. Here's the swarm trap that we got from Colleyville. And we're going to move them into this box right here. And the first thing we do is most likely, since they're staying in the box, they're going to have comb in that box. So we want them to continue building up the comb. And so we're giving them a feeder with sugar water to continue building up, and we're also going to give them some partially drawn comb to just get after it and start drawing. So this is the first time I've opened up this box. I haven't seen what it looks like inside yet. Hopefully they won't be too angry with me. So there's a few bees on the lid. Put them in there. And then we kind of take each frame out carefully. Some of these frames they may not have drawn out, some they have. A lot of times on the swarm traps they'll draw below the frames. So as you can see, there's some bees and some comb that they've already drawn out. So I'll save that for maybe later. We may rubber band that in. If I'm lucky, they will have drawn straight below the frames, which makes it easy. Look there. Straight below it. These are excellent for the beekeeper. They're doing just what I asked them to do. Let's see how we're doing looking here. Wow, okay. So in this frame, I don't know if you can see it, there's some capped larvae in here. So basically they're laying their eggs and larvae. You can see the little white like little worms in the bottom. That's their larvae. So the queen laid an egg, they fed it, and it turns into larvae. And let's see what we have on this other side. We have a lot more in here. Just trying to see if I can see the queen in here. But so they're actually, and they're getting on it here and starting to build up their hive. So we're gonna keep putting the bees in. Hopefully the queen is not in one of these frames, and I will save all these larvae cells and stuff to build up. And usually in my swarm traps I put at least one frame of comb to kind of draw them as a lure. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so we can see from this medium frame they've really drawn out. In this frame you can see the larvae inside of it, in the bottom, all inside here. And so they're hatching out bees, making brood. Gonna look around, see if I can find the queen on here. There's a drone. Drones are always tricky because they look, when you're just looking at them, they look kind of like queens. So I'm gonna try and shake off, in case the queen's on there, all the bees off of this. Well, I don't see a queen on here, which is good. We don't want the queen involved in accident. Looking at more bees here. They haven't drawn anything. There's a piece of comb that fell on the bottom, and that might have happened from transportation. So I don't see any queen here. And I'm not going to do anything with the queen. I will just put her in the new box. And we got more comb down here. So and so you can kind of see the bees bridging the gap here. So they're using that gap to draw a new comb out. So they create kind of like a bee ladder, scaffolding maybe, out of themselves, and they're building up new comb. Of course they're going to draw it, you know, where I would rather them draw it on the frames, but they're not taking advice from me. A lot of times on this new comb you'll find a queen because they're just building cells up, and she'll, as soon as they can give her a cell, she'll start putting eggs in it. So a lot of times we'll find her in here. No, I don't see her here. I mean, she's probably in here, but I don't see her, which I know there's a queen in here because of all the brood and the larvae. So we'll just try and, so if we can, just shake it all off as much as we can. That was a big load of bees there. Now if there's not as many, we can see if we can, I see the queen in there. So we'll dump them in there. Now we got one piece of comb in here. So this is kind of flimsy. It's hard to, it's too, and the white wax is very soft. So sometimes it's really hard to hold on to it. Now while I'm working on the comb, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the box and flip it upside down so that there's a bunch of bees in the box, they can go down. Now I'm going to take this comb over here, away from all the action, to try and strap some of it down so they can continue to use it. So I'm kind of just Tetris in whatever I can get in there. I don't give them any honeycomb because the honey, it gets too sticky and doesn't work very well for transferring. I'll just kind of cut that to size. And see what else we can get in here. This one doesn't have any brood. I'd rather give them something that has brood in it. Maybe I can put this in here. Do that. I may just do another one with brood. So basically I'm just going to rubber band this in here and in an empty frame, and they will continue to just draw out this comb, and they will fill out this whole frame. I'm trying to figure out if I can get part of that in there somehow. Let's see. That way I can give them one solid frame comb. And I'll do it like this. And slide that over. Cut this out here. And kind of tighten it up a little bit. And this is really just to get them going, to keep them going. I'm going to grab one of these rubber bands and put on here to keep their brood going. And they have lots of pollen in here, and that's and then they'll also have drawn frames that I've already put in there, or partially drawn, and a lot of sugar water, which allow them to draw out. I will put the medium frame in there because they have a lot of sugar water in it. But I will put that between two drawn frames because you want them to draw it below the medium frame, but if you don't give them a guide, they'll just make a mess of the thing. And So there's a lot of bees still in there. What we're going to do is fill the rest of this up with frames. And I can't use this piece of brood because it's just too, this piece of brood comb is just too flimsy, so I'm not going to give them that. They should be able to draw most of the stuff back out though. Let's see. And maybe get one in here. I'm going to grab more rubber bands. And the funny thing is that they will chew through these rubber bands because they don't like them because they're, you know, plastic or rubber, I guess. And so you'll find these empty rubber bands at the bottom of the hive when you go back in that they've chewed through to get them out of their hive because they don't like that smell or whatever. Let me see, I don't know if I can get that one in there. Maybe I can get it in there. We'll see. And this just saves them a lot of work from having to redraw the frames out. And it gives them somewhere to start, at least. And of course, I've put drawn comb in there, so that will give them a head start also with sugar water, which gives them a big head start. So what we'll do now, I want to get all the bees in there. Dump them in. There's always stragglers. No queen in there. And that's pretty much it. We'll let them go for a week or two, and then give them some more sugar water, keep feeding them so that they can draw out comb and the queen can lay more bees. And that's it. Thanks for watching.